Welcome to this episode of Best of America by Horseback. I'm Tom Seay.
And I'm Del Shields.
We're in front of the old fort at Fort Fairfield, Maine. We're about as far northeast as you can get in the United States, where the potato is king.
That's right. We're here at the 64th Annual Potato Blossom Festival.
You've been entertaining here for the last 4 years.
Yes, I have.
We're so honored that Best of America by Horseback was asked to be the Grand Marshal of the parade. And so we're here riding with a lot of neat people, our friends, horses from all over the place. This is going to be great.
Yeah, we're being hosted by the Rocking Yes Ranch with Steve and Sarah Ullman along the Aroostook River. A beautiful spot. We're having a good time.
A great place to ride, great place to come visit. And believe me, this entire town is the modern Norman Rockwell town of America. This is a great place. Sit back, relax, stay tuned. This is Best of America by Horseback. We'll be right back.
On this episode of Best of America by Horseback, Tom and Del are riding at the Rocking Yes Ranch in Fort Fairfield, Maine, and participating in the 64th Annual Maine Potato Blossom Festival, where they were the Grand Marshals of this year's parade.
We don't have any speeches, but I got to tell you something, honest truth. Now, I'm from Virginia, and I talk a little slower than y'all do. But let me tell you, we've traveled all over America, and if this isn't the Norman Rockwell community of America, I don't know what is. I see the kids on the streets, riding their bicycles, people in their yards, families together. This really is the very best of America, and you people are so fortunate, and we're so pleased to be here. Thank you for letting us be here, and this really is a destination everybody in America ought to come to. We're going to put it on TV, and we'll hope they'll come. Thank you all very much.
Tom Seay, and the folks from Best of America by Horseback.
Thank you, guys. Good seeing you.
Mike, few festivals I've ever seen across the country attract so many people and so many organizations that just come together to make it successful. Does that make your job easier?
My job is so easy. There's so many people that come together to pull this event off. It's the 64th year, and it's like it goes on automatic pilot. It's a train you can't stop. It's going to happen whether we want it to or not. And it's a great event. It brings the community together. Everybody chips in.
You have a message for people who watch RFD-TV about coming to Maine?
I will tell you, Maine in the summer is God's country, and I mean that very sincerely. It is the most beautiful place. We have the beautiful mountains, the ocean, the people are just a lot of fun.
We appreciate what you do, and you represent the state well, and we're proud of you.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Enjoy the parade.
Okay.
Going to.
And enjoy Maine.
Okay.
Great people.
Stay long.
Part of the week-long festivities during the annual Maine Potato Blossom Festival is a trail riding event hosted by Steve and Sarah Ullman at the Rocking Yes Ranch, just 2 miles from downtown Fort Fairfield. Best of America by Horseback's Del Shields has been the featured entertainer for the past 4 years. Here, riders can ride along the beautiful Aroostook River, through pine and hardwood forests, and even ride to the border of Canada and back.
Do you have a favorite trail? that you enjoy
Oh,
riding
sure.
there?
I sure do. And you might have guessed it was Two Bones. It runs here from the cabin down 2 miles right along the river, past the old sawmill and past the Eagle's Nest. And it ends or begins at Steve Bird's house, a neighbor. Steve and I go back to '79 when we started cutting the trail, and remember the day that he and I met in the middle and we had our first ride down the trail, a cleared trail.
Steve, can you tell us about how many miles of trails are available here?
Aroostook County is unusual, Del, especially in the east, because we still have open range, and that's very special. Now, we mark probably 20 or more miles of trail where we actually go out and mark the trail, but there are hundreds of miles of trail because really it's open to riding almost anywhere, with the exception of along the broccoli fields or near the potato fields. But with those exceptions, you can strike off for Fort Kent if you wanted to, and we do.
Sarah, do you remember the first time you saw this river?
Yes,
Tell me about it.
it was just beautiful. But I was resisting it. I wanted to go back to the Midwest.
So you're from the Midwest.
From the Midwest.
What is the attraction here at Fort Fairfield that brought you here besides marriage?
The people.
We came here in 1971 with the idea of staying for 2 years. And you know, Del, we didn't have any thoughts or ideas that this community would so capture us that we'd still be here some 35 years later. It was then, and it still is, a farming community with farming values, and that just meshed with Sarah and I. So we stayed and stayed and stayed, and now we wouldn't think of leaving.
We want people to want to live in Fort Fairfield. Our focus is quality of place. We want to create an environment where the people understand what it means to live in community. I think that the people of this community are by far its biggest asset. And I think that we have been able to use our scarce resources in very solid ways that not only enhance the quality of life that we live together corporately, but as individuals, where it makes people very pleased to be here. So our goal is to further enhance that environment so that when folks move into Central Aroostook County, it's like, man, we want to live in Fort Fairfield. That's where we want to be. And for us, that is economic development, and that is what's going to help create that sustainable environment that we feel is so crucial for rural America.
The farmers in the area, and this is another great thing about the people that live here, they're very generous with their land. They allow snowmobiling to happen on their farms throughout the winter, cross-country skiing, hunting, fishing, and they're just very generous with their agricultural land.
The potato industry is kind of the heart and soul of the agricultural aspect of things up here, but it also lends itself to the very name of the festival, Potato Blossom Festival. And so what are you trying to get out to people?
Well, you know, most of the farms in the area are owned by families, and it's a celebration of the potato blossom. I mean, it's the right time of year that it sprouts, and the fields are beautiful. It's a celebration of our heritage. It's a celebration of the industry that we all live off from, because the potato industry is tied to every one of us in one way or another.
In a lot of communities where agriculture is failing and times are tough for farmers, it seems like it's flourishing here. The farmers are working hard. The potato is king. It's a good farm community, isn't it?
It is a good farm community. And I think the fact that for so many years people from the community went out into the farms to help to pick the potatoes, and they still do, but they're on mechanical harvesters right now. But when we first came, they were still harvesting with baskets and barrels. And the kids got out of school, and they went into the fields and worked from dawn until dark. And
doesn't that still happen every September? Kids get out of school for 2 weeks?
But not the young ones, just the ones that are in high school mostly, because they can work on the machinery now.
And where do these potatoes go?
Well, they go to processing plants, and they're shipped for seed in the spring, and they're shipped to Boston and New York markets.
Now, I want to ask you a question. Now, I won't tell anybody what you say. We have friends in Idaho. If we line up two potatoes, an Idaho potato and a Maine potato, can you tell the difference?
If I taste it, I can.
You think the Maine potato is better?
I do.
Okay, I was just
But
curious.
actually, the Idaho potato came from Maine, the original seed.
Oh, wait. Here comes the letters and emails. The original seed really came from here.
That's what I understand, yes.
Folks, we're in Fort Fairfield, Maine. It just doesn't get any better than what we have right here with Del Shields. He's going to be singing to the folks. We're going to be having a great time here. You stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We're in the northern part of Maine, right along the Canadian border. We've got a lot of outdoor recreation opportunity up here and great activities for horses.
Two opposite ends of the spectrum, horseback riding and snowmobiling.
Yes.
However, the trails they make snowmobiling in the winter are the perfect horse trails in the summer. Can you comment on that?
Yeah. We have over 100 miles of what they call rails to trails. That's old railroad bed that's groomed, and they're plenty wide for all recreational uses. In the wintertime, it creates a massive interconnecting trail system for snowmobiling, which we have a lot of activity in that in the winter. Also in the summer, it's a multi-use trail for horses and biking, but it's plenty large enough for everybody to share, and there's not a lot of population here, so it makes a great opportunity for everybody to enjoy the trails.
This is a great place to be, and I just love the climate. Thank you for being on Best of America by Horseback.
Outdoor recreation in Aroostook County brings tourists to the area year-round. One recreational area, which has become quite a landmark in the county, is Mars Hill Mountain. The Pierce family operated a ski resort for over 40 years, as well as other recreational activities on the mountain. Today, it provides much more than recreation to the community.
I've heard about people chasing windmills as an illusion. Your family chased a few windmills and it turned out a little bit different. Tell us how y'all have brought that to a whole new dimension.
Our family started to acquire property, the Pierce family. Wendell and Murray would be my grandparents. Back in the early 60s, so about 50 years ago. And they started with a ski resort at the mountain and owned and operated it for about 40 years. And back in the early 2000s, were contacted by some wind power companies wanting to do studies and see what the perspectives were for wind power on Big Rock. And now we have 28 turbines across the top of Big Rock, and it's quite a substantial wind farm. It has added a substantial amount of revenue to the town of Mars Hill, and we're a small community, less than 1,000. It's a tremendous revenue source for the town.
Another wonderful asset of Aroostook County is the University of Maine at Presque Isle, where students can enjoy learning in a small rural community environment. And students can bring their horse to college with plenty of places to board nearby.
Every university claims to be the best university, but from what I understand, you're really known for faculty involvement, small classes, very dedicated staff. And that's really a true statement.
Yes, that is a very true statement. And that's what makes the difference between a good university and a great university. Our faculty and staff really, really care about our students. They want our students to succeed not only in college but in life. Students will know immediately that they've become a part of a family. And that's what's important to us as faculty and staff members, that we embrace that with our students. And you know, they're not just a number. You know, they'll see their professors in the grocery store and they're going to know who they are. And that's, you know, for students that are looking for that, you know, that want that when they get their education, the University of Maine at Presque Isle is a great place to be.
Jessica, what is it about the university that draws young people from an outer area that aren't familiar with the campus here?
Well, we at the university have over 26 majors on campus. Our largest that really draw people: social work, athletic training. We have a recreation program, criminal justice. We also have education and business. But also the fact that we are in a small rural area, you know, for those students that are looking for, you know, the outdoors, students that want to be able to come here and, you know, ride horseback. They can board their horses at local ranches and have access to the miles and miles of trails that are here in Aroostook County, and just be a few minutes from campus.
That's a great deal. What's it like to live on campus? What's it like for the students?
Students can get involved in as much as they want to or as little as they want to. There's always things going on. As you know, you can check out a basketball game with your buddy, grab some fries at the Owl's Nest. There's things to do in town. That's why it's important for us to be involved in the community, because without our community, there would be no University of Maine at Presque Isle.
Well, we're here at the Potato Blossom Festival and you're heavily involved in that. It's a great event. I didn't realize how extensive it was, and everybody's involved in this. This is a great, great thing.
There was so much excitement. The parade was big. The governor was here. There were dignitaries. People were really excited about this thing.
This year's parade was probably the most successful parade that we've ever had because of you guys. You made it that way.
There are a lot of different volunteers and a lot of community events, and they all came together for this event. You do this every year.
Yes.
And it has to be a highlight of your year.
Very much so, yes. It's very much my passion. I love it.
The trail ride at the Rocky Nest Ranch is just one of the many planned activities during the week-long Potato Blossom Festival in Fort Fairfield, Maine. Riders enjoyed guided rides Thursday through Sunday. Meals were provided each day by civic organizations, and Del Shields performed around the campfire each evening. Many riders attended Cowboy Church on Sunday by horseback.
In remembrance of me. And God wants us to remember Him. We get busy with life a lot of times.
This is truly one of the nicest communities we've ever visited in all the years of doing the show. Fort Fairfield, Maine, there's so much here, so much going on, so much to see. You have to put it on your list to come here next year. You're watching Best of America by Horseback. We'll be right back on RFD-TV.
The Maine Potato Blossom Festival is held annually in Fort Fairfield, Maine during July. The average summer temperature is just 75 degrees, making it a perfect summer vacation destination. The Rocky Nest Ranch holds a trail riding event during the festival each year with guided rides and meals available on site. Riders are welcome to camp and ride at the ranch anytime during the riding season. They offer mostly primitive camping with water and box stalls available, but most people choose to bring portable fences. They have a bath and shower house open May through mid-October, and they have a very nice rental cabin overlooking the Aroostook River. For more information on riding at the Rocky Nest Ranch, you can log on to mehorse.com or call 207-768-1444. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Best of America by Horseback. Tom is honored to share with you the most beautiful places and wonderful people he meets across America. Fort Fairfield is certainly one of those places. Join us again next week for another episode of Best of America by Horseback with adventurer and outdoorsman Tom Seay.